Yeah, no, I mean, you hear really just insane stories about how Diddy grabbed a gun with Capricorn as security and went over to Cuddy's house and came into his house, broke into his house, and then allegedly had his car firebombed and so forth. And it just doesn't really make sense why someone of that caliber, with that much money, with that type of profile, would be doing things like that, like grabbing a gun and going to a famous rapper's house. Like,
bro, but a lot of these people was accessories. I mean, a lot of these people coming out and saying, well, they got abused. But a lot of these people was accessories. Cat, Bonzi, even to G to some extent. They're accessories. You watch this man operate and behave like this for years. You didn't see anything questionable up until he was attacked. Everybody bullshit. Everybody just kind of like clout chasing, trying to get something off this shit. Me, I never said nothing. I never seen nothing menacing, and I just stood on it. Like, I learned a lot of shit from Diddy, and then even though we didn't have the storybook ending, I learned a lot from the nigga. The nigga personal fucking business is personal business. What it looks like to me is just a big domestic case that they sensationalizing.
I mean, I've been saying the exact same thing. This sounds like a domestic violence case that's suddenly morphed into a RICO and sex trafficking and so forth. Like, it's just, I have yet to see any really serious crimes that warranted a federal RICO.
RICO is conspiracies. That means somebody's aiding and abetting you in these criminal activities. They haven't pulled anybody up there saying, I helped Puff drug these bitches. I helped Puff. You know what I mean? All we got is housekeepers cleaning up, baby oil, bullshit. A lot of bullshit. Just a lot of personal behavior. It ain't really a RICO is one or more, am I correct, Vlad? Yeah. One or more conspire.
Well, no. You could have a one-man RICO. That's a real thing.
I never heard of that. I never heard of a one-man RICO.
Because I have actual, like, top lawyers, like Drew Finley, who's Lil Durk's lawyer, comes to my show. And he said, yeah, that's a real thing.
I thought RICO was to prove the organization.
No, it's basically a criminal enterprise. So you could have a one-person criminal enterprise, you're using other people to facilitate it, but they're not necessarily part of the crime. So for example, if you hire me to go clean up baby oil, I don't know what the hell you were doing in there. I wasn't part of whatever type of crimes may have occurred in that room. I'm just cleaning up the baby oil. I mean, technically I'm an accessory, but I can say I'm just a baby oil cleaner. What the fuck you want me to do?
Van, if me and you party in LA, we fly bitches out, right? I forgot, fucked up my train of thought that fast. But something happened, and you tell me you fucked the bitch. But then the bitch come out after and said you touched her in a way that she gonna take legal issue. I become an accessory after the fact, right?
Not exactly.
I do.
All you did was
I could be subpoenaed. I could be subpoenaed.
You can be subpoenaed, but it'd be a little difficult to charge you with an actual crime. Now, for example, you see situations like when I interviewed Punisher, he said something very interesting in the interview. He said that every time they had about 12 freak-offs, every single time Cassie reached out to him, scheduled him, and at the end of the night, she paid him. So who's actually engaging in trafficking? Is it Diddy or the person who's actually doing the scheduling and the payments?
With all we know, Diddy was we're pulling the strings. But at a point in time, if Cassie has a window to separate and walk away from it, there you go.
Yeah, look, and I've said this, right? I mean, at this point, Cassie's worth $30 million.
Yeah,
right?
you know how she got paid that too, right? It wasn't Diddy that paid her out of his pocket. It was the insurance from all his companies that he belonged to, they said.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
He's liabilious.
The insurance may have paid the 20, and then the Intercontinental
paid the 10. 10. Yeah, yep.
Right.
So by him being a high-ranking officer of these companies, he becomes liable for the insurance. So what the insurance companies did from all these different LLCs, they just put up a bag to get her out of there.
Yeah, but I think all that did was trigger a federal investigation.
It did. The civil spilled into the criminal.
Right. That's exactly what happened.